I am Dr. Prashant, working as an assistant professor at Department of Geography, Shivaji University. I have nearly 13 years of PG teaching experience, and with this experience, I will try to bring the best for you. So friends, kindly support my YouTube channel. Please share, subscribe and like this video if you get any value out of this. Today, we are going to discuss maps and its types. A map may be defined as a small-scale conventional representation of the Earth, as viewed from above, using scale and projection. A map is much smaller than the area of the Earth's surface pattern that it depicts. Every map is scaled to the exact size of the object it depicts. The scale is the ratio of the distance between 2 points on a map and the distance between them on the ground. A map is created on a planned surface with only 2 dimensions, namely length and breadth. However, the Earth's surface pattern is curved rather than flat, and it has 3 dimensions. A map is therefore a 2-dimensional flat representation of a 3-dimensional curving surface. Because a map does not represent the 3rd dimension, the correct representation of the Earth is a globe, not a map. As a consequence, a map is a 2-dimensional flat surface depiction of Earth curvature employing conventional signs, symbols, scale, and projection. Now we will look at how the Earth is mapped in various ways. There are 3 main ways to map the Earth. The first method is to do a physical survey using devices such as a plan table, chain tape, prismatic compass, and theodolite, among others. Photographs are the second method, while freehand drawings and diagrams are the third method for mapping the Earth. Because we will be discussing many sorts of maps, it is necessary to pay special attention to 2 factors when dividing maps into distinct groups. First, maps are classified according to scale, and then, as per their purpose. We'll go through the different types of maps one by one. The following are the types of maps based on their scale. We arranged the maps in this section by scale, from large to small. The cadastral map is a large-scale map that demarcates the farm and building borders to record the possession of landed property. The government creates cadastral maps in order to collect revenue and taxes. The cadastral map of the village is a superb example of a large-scale cadastral map. These maps vary in scale from 16 inches to a mile to 32 inches to a mile. As a result, it keeps a record of minor details. The topographical map is the second of the large-scale maps in the series. It is produced on a large scale and is based on precise surveys. The value of topographical maps is derived from 2 key characteristics: accuracy and information sufficiency. These maps depict broad elements of both the natural and cultural landscapes in considerable detail. The topographical map scale ranges from 1 inch to a mile to a 1/4 inch to a mile in general. Forests, rivers, lakes, relief, swaps, and other major geographical features are depicted on topographical maps. Varied countries' topographical maps have different scales and schemes. The contours on the topographical map are drawn at a specific interval, such as 5 feet, 10 feet, 25 feet, 50 feet, or 250 feet, and so on. In India's instance, the interval on 1-inch survey sheets is 50 feet, while the interval on 1/4-inch survey sheets is 250 feet. In certain cases, a variable contour interval is employed. It can be raised in hilly areas over a specific altitude, or more contours can be placed in lowland areas, reducing the interval. The wall map is the next large-scale map in the series. The majority of wall maps are made in a bold manner. As a result, wall maps can be utilized in the classroom. The world or hemispheres are clearly portrayed on the wall maps. A continent or a country can also be depicted on a wall map. Wall maps have a smaller scale than topographical maps but a larger scale than atlases. The atlas or chorographical map is the last of the small-size maps in the series. Atlas maps are created on a very small scale and give a more or less generalized portrayal of physical, climatic, and economic circumstances around the world. Due to space constraints, only major ranges of hills with significant peaks, major rivers, major towns, and major railway lines may be shown. Okay then, we will now move on to the second major type of map, which is dependent on its purpose or content. Because of the broad scope of this category, we will only discuss main types of maps. So, friends, the most widely used and popular map in this category is an orographic or relief map. The surface forms are shown using an orographic map. This map shows the bulges and depressions that may be observed on the surface. It illustrates the height, slope, and drainage of the land. The geological map is the next one. It represents the rocks that make up the Earth's crust, as well as their manner of occurrence, disposition, and so on. The climatic and weather map is another type of map. The average condition of temperature, wind, precipitation, and pressure for a short period, which might range from a day to a season, is depicted here on weather map. Daily weather maps are maps that illustrate the weather on a daily basis. Winter and summer weather maps, on the other hand, represent the average of monthly or seasonal weather. When the average of meteorological conditions over a lengthy period of time, say 10 years, is shown on a map, it is referred to as a climatic map. Another sort of map is an astronomy map, which is used for specific purposes. It's a map of celestial bodies or other cosmic characteristics. A vegetation map depicts the spread of natural plants throughout space. A soil map of an area, on the other hand, shows the many types of soils that cover the region. Aside from the variety stated above, there are several different sorts of maps. However, owing to a time constraint, we will not be able to cover everything in this section. So stay tuned for the second part of this video, in which we'll talk about various types of cultural maps, diagrammatic and pictorial maps, and so on. Until then, take care, and good luck.